How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sundays 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is Thursday here on the show. You know what that means? We got a lot to talk about. Last night, AEW Dynamite. It was the go-home show for Redemption coming up on Sunday. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to AEW. I actually thought that Dynamite last night, there wasn't as much good wrestling. It wasn't like a show full of bangers, although there was some good wrestling on the show. But as a professional wrestling television show, I thought it was miles better than last week. And set up everything for the pay-per-view, set up stuff for Wembley, and it had its flaws. And actually, its biggest flaw wasn't even on the show, which is usually a flaw with AEW. But we'll get into that. We got Collision lineup as well. And then we got a bunch of news. Today is the day, July 23rd, that a whole bunch of people are now free. These WWE 2026 talent releases, a bunch of 90-day no-competes are coming due, and people start going elsewhere. So we'll tell you about that. We've got WWE now partnering with SiriusXM for WWE Radio. Man, oh man, we're cooked. We'll tell you what they're going to be doing. We got Natsupoi getting ready to retire. Batista is retired and did an interview, and I love this interview. This guy ain't ever coming back, and we'll tell you what he has to say about wrestling and his future. We've got some more notes on Redemption and what was not announced for reasons unknown on the show. And, of course, the Dynamite review as well. Lance Storm joining us here today. We got a lot to talk about, so stick around and we'll get into it after the break. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Chat GPT SmackDown review starring Filthy Tom and Bryan Alvarez.
Welcome back, you miserable wretches, to another disaster of an episode of Figure 4 Daily, the only show on the internet that's guaranteed to make your brain rot faster than watching one of these SmackDown episodes. I'm your host, Filthy Tom Waller, joined by the man who somehow manages to be more useless than a rubber knife in a prison fight, Bryan Alvarez. What's up, Bryan?
Let's not pretend you're the shining star of this operation. You're like a broken pencil. Pointless. And I don't even know I'm still here with you. Anyway, let's get to this train wreck of a SmackDown. Spoiler alert, if you were expecting a wrestling show, you've come to the wrong place. It was like watching someone fall asleep in real time.
You should know all about falling asleep, Bryan, since you've been half dead for years now. If enthusiasm was an Olympic sport, you would get a participation medal for showing up, but still lose.
I could tell the crowd was hyped for Drew, and Nakamura's music is always a banger, but it was just nothing. It's like watching a 5-minute commercial for a product you don't even want to buy.
And I bet the only thing that was more uninspiring than this match was your entire existence. Let's move on before I fall asleep right here on this microphone.
Tom, you think because you're a former fighter, that makes you a wrestling expert? You'd probably lose in a match with a traffic cone. Look, Jade's a star, but Liv Morgan, she's the human version of a please wait screen.
Liv Morgan is about as useful as a sandbag at a swimming pool party, who's like trying to make a turkey sandwich with no bread.
It's like the crowd went from yay to who's got the remote. Can we change the channel?
Liv Morgan's biggest move is making the audience wish for better things. She's like the human version of a wet sock. Nobody wants it.
I get it, Tom. You don't like fun. You don't like energy. You don't like anything that's not just sitting on your couch in your pajamas complaining.
More of the same.
Oh, we're back to more of the same, huh? Just like your wrestling career. More of the same, but somehow still a disaster.
Well, that's it, folks. SmackDown 2025 was more like SmackDown 2005. Same old stuff, same old disappointments. Join us next time when we tear apart something else for your listening pleasure.
Yeah, next time, Tom, maybe you'll actually have some real wrestling to talk about instead of whatever disaster this was. Until then, just remember, don't listen to Tom and don't watch SmackDown unless you hate yourself.
Whatever. It's your funeral.
What? I've never been so embarrassed doing this show as I was for the last 5 minutes. God. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance is joining us today. Thank goodness. Means I won't get kicked off the air for swearing.
I won't frustrate you as much as Tom does.
Are you enjoying yourself, Lance? Were you giddy yesterday?
I laughed. I was laughing just by how bad he was frustrating you. And then when you lost your cool and needed an edible, you need to make the T-shirt, Brian.
Dude, the joke's on him. He had to do that NXT report by himself. I hope he suffered. Vinny hated that show. Like, Vinny texted me last night and goes, do we have to review this show in the future? I hate it. So it's going to be quite a review tonight, apparently. Sounds like he hated that show as much as I hated Dynamite last week. Although this week I thought Dynamite was significantly better as a pro wrestling television show. Whatever you want to say about the matches, which is all people sometimes like to talk about in AEW, but like as a professional wrestling show, yeah, I thought it was much better. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how many people watched it. Last week I thought the show absolutely sucked, and it did a very good number, and so everyone celebrated that I was such a fool. Although the last time I checked, you couldn't see if a show was any good and then go back in time to decide whether you're going to watch it or not. I think whether the casual viewer or the regular AEW viewer, I think this week's the more important number. Obviously, last week was going to do great. Nobody knew the quality of the show going in, and it was a show coming off the world title change. I mean, it should have done a gigantic number, and it did. But, I don't know what that says about the quality of the show. I thought the quality of the show was terrible.
And hopefully this go-home show does well.
I hope this go-home show does do well. Another guy was like, because I did that big rant when I was unleashing on AEW, and during the rant I noted, nobody wants AEW to beat WWE more than me, and it's kind of a throwaway line. But then people started getting on me. Oh, you want AEW to win? Oh, is that right? You want AEW? Yeah, I do. You want to know why? Because whoever is in second place, I want to get to first place. Because, especially in the case of WWE, okay? When I watch WWE, like, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I hate watching the PLEs because there's so many ads. But, the reality, I mean, if we're being honest here, if we want to play games, we can play games. But if we're being honest, there's a lot of stuff that AEW could do better, and there's a lot of stuff that WWE could do better. And particularly in the case of WWE, the only thing that is going to lead to WWE changing some of these really irritating things is if they start getting their ass kicked by AEW. If that happens, things will change. Until that day, you're going to have to be watching 4-hour shows with 2 hours of commercials and all of this other irritating stuff. It ain't going to change as long as they're far out in the lead. So yeah, I would like AEW to surpass WWE, because that is when WWE ends up being at its best, when it's in trouble.
Well, even if they don't surpass it, we have a long set history that number one always tries a lot harder when number two gets close.
Exactly. Right now, WWE is just coasting along. They're just coasting. And they're coasting, and, attendance is down a little bit, and this and that, but it's still on fire, and they see no reason to change anything that they're doing, anything people complain about. They're just going to coast along until somebody is biting at their heels. And the reality is, Dynamite did a great number last week, and the pay-per-views are doing well. But, I mean, they ain't drawing anything to TV, They're a long, long, long way away from really challenging WWE, and they shouldn't be, honestly. Because I can tell you that because in the past, they've been a heck of a lot closer than they are now. So I don't want to hear this, that, or the other. They have been nipping at WWE's heels. They are not nipping at their heels right now. And I would like to see that. So yeah, I would like to see them surpass WWE. Because you know what? I don't know what... I mean, there are things that people complain about. And Tony does make changes. He does listen to criticism if he feels it's valid criticism. Now, what he feels is valid criticism, I don't know, okay? But I do know there have been a lot more video packages of late, so I am thankful for that. However, one thing that... honestly, this one surprises me. I can't believe that he still doesn't promote lineups in such an advance. Because... it's one thing if you do something and people complain about it, but, there's no obvious ramifications or whatever. We can see in the attendance for these television shows that, they could be selling a lot more tickets. And how do you sell more tickets? To anything, pro wrestling or whatever, you promote your shows. You promote what's going to be on the show. You promote this. You promote that. I mean... last week's Collision, maybe it wasn't, I forget when it was, but, there was a show that wasn't doing well, and, they could have announced a bunch of stuff on Dynamite to try to get some last-minute ticket sales, and they didn't. They threw some matches on social media, the night before, and the show ended up doing poorly. And, I woke up this morning, and it's they added a Young Bucks match to Collision, and this and that. It's why couldn't you announce... The Young Bucks are wrestling on Collision. Why couldn't you announce that on Dynamite? I mean, are we trying to sell tickets or what?
Well, did he have the match booked then? Or is he...
Well, no, the answer is he didn't. But, my point is, let's get our act together. Let's have, a plan for Saturday on Wednesday instead of waiting until Friday night to figure out what we're going to do on Saturday's show. Try to sell some tickets here. So... I'll get into the rest of it later, but I do want to talk about, you guys want to, between me swearing on this show and this launch of WWE Radio, brother, I don't know, man. This may be the end of the line for Observer Live, guys. How can we possibly compete? Starting on Monday, July 27th, WWE Radio will be available for Sirius XM subscribers. It is replacing their current Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 channel. And it says the programming lineup will continue to be anchored by Sirius XM's main wrestling show, Busted Open, along with shows hosted by old Sam Roberts and Peter Rosenberg, etc. But if you think there's going to be any AEW stars that are regulars on Busted Open from this point forward, I got news for you. There ain't going to be. Just so y'all know.
I saw a video this morning saying that everything will remain the same, and I'm like, yeah, that's like the WWE or ID guys who were allowed to work wherever they wanted.
Yeah.
Well, except if the show's going to be on my AEW, or if they're going to be with AEW. There will be, because WWE always does. They will not be promoting AEW shows on WWE Radio.
I mean, we just, last night Observer Radio talked about Andreas Hale that got fired from ESPN. And granted, he was probably just one of many that got fired. But, I mean, the story is, I mean, when WWE went to ESPN, they did these reviews and they gave letter grades. And it was the same thing. Nothing's going to change. Don't worry about it. We'll still give the letter grades. Well, the first show on ESPN, he gave a C. And never gave letter grades again. Which is funny because he was probably being nice, if I recall that show correctly. But anyway, yes. Nothing will change with Busted Open and Pro Wrestling Nation, but, you know, it's just a WWE thing now. You're going to have to put them over, kiss their ass, the whole shebang. And if not, I mean, some of you won't even get a chance, you know. If you're, I mean, I won't mention any names, but there are people that won't be there anymore. So anyway, during SummerSlam week, they're going to broadcast live programming from Minneapolis. Their WWE and Fanatics podcast shows, like Cody's show and Stephanie's show and Undertaker's show, those will air on WWE radio, and there will be more as well. So, man, let's put a ribbon on this one, brother. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Granny, what's happening? What do we got for the wrestling report here today?
Talk or something.
Talk or something.
So Niven comes in, jumps on Bailey with her overweight body a couple of times, doesn't mind playing dirty, leaves Bailey on the mat in lots of pain. I found this book. It's called Limericks from the Heart.
Is this a Lanny Poffo book?
Let me finish this one. This guy's name is Lanny Poffo. And there are 335 pages in here. Can you guess what it's about?
Smoking.
Oh,
Sean the Wizard.
have you read it?
We read it every week for about 6 months.
When I first started.
Wow.
Why don't we start reading some questions, and we'll see if we can spur some answers out of Granny. Shall we try?
No, I don't think so.
Let's try.
Then you'll really find out how dumb I am.
Granny, did you know there was a wrestling bear?
No, and I don't care.
All right.
It's a bear that wrestled people.
I still don't care.
Okay.
Is Granny frozen?
Granny, you frozen?
No, I'm ready to read my report.
Your picture is frozen.
It is?
Yeah. Or you're doing a great job as a ventriloquist.
Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa, or whatever his last name is. Paul Newman is watching this match. And he's not on Cody's side. What's the matter?
Absolutely nothing. Everything's great.
You know, Cody did say that he was looking for a manager. I think him and Paul Newman would be a...
What a handsome pair.
Yeah. A dashing duo.
That guy's a movie star, isn't he?
Since you're on the phone, why don't we just jump right into your wrestling report and such, and then we'll let you go and we'll do Facebook without you.
Can I lay the phone down and can you hear me?
You can try. Why don't you give it a shot?
Okay.
Oh, boy. It's going to be a disaster. I can already tell.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's all right, I guess.
Go ahead.
No, it's your segment. You're gonna read
us jokes?
or your wrestling report or whatever. I see Granny has now put the phone back up to her ear.
I'm just, for now.
Do you have the soaps or anything else, Granny, or is that it?
I want to quit for now.
Okay. Well,
No more.
instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Hey, if you didn't hear the After Dark show yesterday, it was great. Go listen to Cliff from Finding Bigfoot. Cliff Barrickman talking Bigfoot for an hour. It's everything I wanted and more. Now I just got to get Bobo on, and then my life will be complete. Then we can just wrap it all up here. Let WWE Radio just take over this space. This top spot I've held for so many years. Yes.
Bigfoot Bobo is the pinnacle of your career?
Oh, heck yeah. I almost dropped another F-bomb, Lance. Don't do this to me. You guys who watch Finding Bigfoot, you know. Old Bobo. He's the man. He is the man. All right. We got some other stuff to get into. Right now, today, this is when all these 90-day no-competes are coming due. We got the Motor City Machine Guns, Kyrie, Santos Escobar, Zoe Stark, Aleister Black and Zelina, Eric Rowan, Nikki Storm, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Sam Shaw, and Bo Dallas. All available. And we're going to find out who goes where. Who's going to AEW? Anybody? Who's going to TNA? New Japan? CMLL? I mean, there's with all of the talent that AEW and WWE have signed, I mean, there's definitely places around the world that could use some new talent. And sometimes I look at these lists and I'm just flabbergasted. Like, I get it, like the Wyatts, you know, the gimmick, they had their run and they're just kind of there. But like, I mean this in the nicest way possible. But I was watching SmackDown and they had a match with Axiom and Nathan Frazier, and I was like, oh yeah, those guys, it was the Machine Guns that got fired. For a second, I thought it was Axiom and Nathan Frazier. It was like they had all these high-flying teams, and they randomly cut one. The Motor City Machine Guns, of all people. So, you know, why? I don't know. Kyrie, just baffling, right in the middle of a storyline. Santos Escobar, like, he left, and my theory on this one is that they figured, all right, this guy's going to go be a star probably with either AEW or CMLL or who knows where, because he chose to leave us. We can't have that. And so they offered him, I was told, like, a big money deal. I'm talking big money. Like, I don't know the exact number, but I think they offered that guy like 7 figures. He came back for a lot of money. And then, like, I should have known as soon as they signed him to that deal and put him on AAA, they fired him. And I think it was just that now they can say, oh, you didn't quit, we fired you. Go wherever you want. That's the only thing I can figure, because that whole story was just baffling.
Well, he's going with a much bigger bank account, at least.
Well, for a little while. I mean, he wasn't there with that big contract all that long. I mean,
yeah, but still, if it was 7 figures, that's like 20 grand a week. It's not a bad paycheck.
Nah, he made some good money there for a while. But it's not what you make, Lance. It's what you save. Did you hear this Batista interview?
I saw a clip of it. He's done with wrestling.
So he was doing this interview with Wolf Gyms. And he said, people ask me why I got into wrestling. I always tell them I hate answering this because it's not a glamorous answer. I got into wrestling because I wanted to make money. I was effing desperate. I was poor. I had 2 kids and not a dime to my name. After a while, I became obsessed with it. And I would have wrestled for free because I loved it so much. Making a good living, wrestling, it's kind of a side effect. He said, I left the company on good terms. I left at the height of my career. It was hard as F to walk away because I walked away and I went broke. All that money that guy made for all those years.
Not how much you make, Brian. It's how much you save.
So I just said, yep, he left and he went broke. It was nice having that check come in every week, but I walked away because the company was heading in a direction that just wasn't right for me. It worked out. I was lucky it worked out. I walked away as champ. I walked away on top. It's hard to walk away. Most people don't. This is why it's such a running joke when wrestlers retire. They never retire. They retire like 5 times. There's people I always thought throughout the years that I would come back. I'd come out of retirement. I told them over and over I won't. I had an effing storybook ending. I'll do manual labor before I tarnish that. If I go broke again, I know what it's like to be poor. I don't like being poor, but I know what it's like. And I will go effing broke and be poor before I ever go back to wrestling. I will never wrestle again. I went out the way I wanted. The guy I wanted to go out with, it's never going to be that good again, and I won't tarnish it. And it was Triple H No Holds Barred, WrestleMania 35, his last match. Good for him.
Well, hopefully he's also saving his money so he won't go broke.
Yeah. Good for Batista.
Always liked Dave.
Yeah, great guy. All right. This story. We'll talk about it. This is a classic AEW thing. Got a pay-per-view coming up on Sunday. And, you know, it's a weak show. people were comparing it to In Your House. It's just like a show with matches, but we all know the big show's coming up next month. And so, like, normally I would just be like, whatever, it's just a Tony thing. But this one, it's kind of like, we're trying to get people to buy the show. So there is a match added to Sunday. It is a 6-way ladder match with the winner getting a shot at the international title with Jack Perry, Beast Mortos, Commander, Speedball Bailey, and then the winners of Nick Wayne versus AR Fox and Leo Rush versus El Clone. If ever there was just, it's there to have a banger, you want to see a banger, I got one for you, it's this match. Well, he made no mention of this match on Dynamite. It's like it's not even happening. It was not mentioned for 1 second on the show. But it was mentioned on social media like immediately afterwards. Like, we didn't have 30 seconds to announce this on Dynamite and add it to the card. For those of you that watch Dynamite and maybe are like, is there like one more banger on the show? Nope. It was a social media. And it's even more bizarre because this is how it was explained. Are you ready for this? Mystico is injured. Mystico had never been announced for the show. Apparently he was gonna be on the show, but he was hurt, so they didn't announce him. And because a guy not announced for the show is hurt, we must do this match. What this match has to do with Mystico, I don't have any earthly idea. He, I mean, I guess maybe he just, like, spoiled his own booking, because what he said was, hopefully Mystico will be ready for Grand Slam Mexico. It would have been great if he could be the challenger for the winner of Kyle Fletcher and Bandito. But I guess because he may not be around, we're doing the 6-way ladder match, and that person will replace Mystico in a to-be possibly booked future match if Mystico can't be there. I was like, oh my God, this guy's brain. So anyway, that's what's happening. Got it, everybody? You got it?
Big ladder match in Montreal.
Yeah. Jim Ross is going in for brain surgery in August, but wants to be at All In at the end of August. So that seems like
a bit optimistic.
It seems a bit optimistic, but that's what he wants to do. So we shall see.
All the best to JR.
Yes, all the best to Jim Ross. Nat Sepoy, there was a press conference. It was announced she will be retiring in January of 2027. One of the biggest names on the Stardom roster. Nat Sepoy said her mind was made up going into her match with Shuri. A couple of, I remember what it was very recently. But anyway, January 3, 2027, Yokohama Budokan will be her final match. And 31 years old, deciding to step away from professional wrestling. So all the best to her as well. She's going to go on a retirement run. She would like to have a mixed tag with her husband, Shingo. Actually sounds awesome. So all the best to her, and we'll have at least a retirement run before she's done. What's on Impact tonight, Lance?
Nick Nemeth defends the world title against Casey Navarro. We have the Righteous Deletion.
The Righteous Deletion?
Yes, heading to the Hardy compound. 2 more first-round matches in the KO's TV title tournament. And there's a tag with AJ Francis, Frankie Kazarian against Moose and Elijah, and we will hear from the system.
So what's the story with the Righteous and the Hardys? Because I've not been watching the weekly TV. The Righteous wanted to be friends with the Hardys, if I recall correctly, and the Hardys were a little wary of this.
Yes, and it turns out they should have been more wary of this because the Righteous were not particularly nice chaps, and they had the what was the name of the garden? They had the
Garden of Souls.
They had a Righteous Garden match. That's not the official name, but they had that, which they won and defeated the Hardys, and this is sort of the follow-up to that.
Now they're off to the compound.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you can check it out tonight, everybody. Back in a moment with the Dynamite Report, Observer Live. We did, in fact, by popular demand, watch Ready to Rumble.
The champion is some fat loser.
Yeah, he's a completely talentless, no athletic ability, can't wrestle, broke bum that walked out on his wife and kid.
But he
and
was
he's
over.
the world champion.
He
and
was.
in the movie, the
Well, yeah, but
storyline
that's a
is-
microcosm of wrestling, sadly.
Yes.
He feels so bad about drinking this entire slushy that cost $1.26, and he sticks his finger in his asshole and walks up to the clerk.
Lance is dying. How could the movie be so bad?
I'm not going to fault the man for that, of all the things in the movie.
I thought for
okay?
sure you were going to say you'd done this before.
There's a reason I'm not going to fault the man for that.
I just think with all the porta potties and farting in this, that I think Vince McMahon was a secret producer on this film. Had to have been.
So then we get the Shermanator. He's playing a WCW arcade game. He uses some internet sleuthing to find the personal information of Jimmy King.
He's searching the internet. Can find out anything on here. This movie was so antiquated. Every Nitro Girl is in a Nitro Girl outfit, except for this girl. They had her
want
dance in
to
something
stand
totally
out,
different.
Brian, like the captain.
So we're so stupid. I got it.
Captain
Yes,
Stabbin.
if you're watching this film, you're that stupid. I'm sorry.
But I was also insulted by the fact they hired Michael Buffer to announce the Royal Bash, the fake-ass Royal Bash.
$24 million budget.
Wow.
And probably 500,000 of that went to Michael Buffer. It made 12. You know, we
He
should mention
unveils-
this cage match is the triple-decker Cage of Doom. Everybody buried it. It was horrible. Everybody hated it. And so they decided to make a movie. And what is the final battle? It's another goddamn triple-decker cage match. This would be like in 2010 if like TNA made a movie and the final match was a reverse battle royal.
They throw powder in someone's face, DDP's, I think, or somebody's, and the dude just looks and goes, "It doesn't work." It's like, of course, because wrestling's fake and stupid.
Should we just end it there? What a soundbite. There has never been a movie I have watched in my entire life which has made me hate myself more.
Wow.
I'm ashamed that I'm even in the place at 41 years old where I would end up reviewing this movie for money. I would have thought I would have made it out of here by now. You know what I mean? I'm done.
Well, everyone, hopefully we can do this again someday. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Alive. Lance Storm joining us here today. So what happened with your Dynamite recording?
I don't really know. I started watching the show this morning, got 2 matches in, and at the end of the second match, I went to skip ahead a little bit, and a warning came up on my screen saying that this program is temporarily unavailable. It should be available soon. And I checked back 4 or 5 times, and it was never available again. I don't know why. Whether it didn't record properly or whether my DVR just froze up for a period of time, I'm not sure.
This is to make me have to do this entire report like I made Tom do the whole report yesterday. Should have dropped an F-bomb and walked off, Lance, so made things a lot easier.
No, I think you've hit your quota for a while. You might want to watch it.
No, you should have. You could have walked off. You could have quit. Broke my headphones, by the way.
Aw.
I just switched with Vinny.
Give Vinny the broken
He's
ones.
got the broken ones. We'll see if he even notices. I don't think he will. All right. As noted, I thought this was a much, much easier show to watch than last week. Like, I think the big thing was just there was no nonsensical booking on it. It was just an easy, all right, here's the pay-per-view, here's the matches, everything's fine. There was a very tolerable 8-minute overrun instead of 22 minutes with 2 commercial breaks. So that was better. There's a lot of improvements, I thought, this week. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay promo, they're frenemies. And then there's Moxley, who is clearly friends with Will and not with Kenny. And that's the setup for the 6-man main event. Kevin Knight, Darby Allin. So you watched this match?
I did.
Did Kevin Knight hit him with a belt at the end?
Yes.
He
In the
did?
back when he was sitting up on the turnbuckle.
Okay, hit him with the belt? All right. I didn't see the belt. I thought he just clobbered him from behind and then hit his move. So he didn't beat him clean. He did hit him with a belt shot. So I didn't like it quite as much as I thought because I didn't see the belt shot. I just saw him like clobber him. So I thought that this was a clean finish, which I thought was actually would have been. They should have done a clean finish here because, yes, I get it. Like Darby's a top star, former champion, but Kevin Knight is a weak challenger going into the pay-per-view. And he should have beat Darby clean because nobody believes this guy is beating Kenny Omega. So, got to do what we can.
I saw a post this morning saying that Kenny is the odds-on favorite going in.
You don't say.
No kidding.
I'd like to see odds for this pay-per-view.
If there is one person that thinks Kevin Knight is winning the title at Redemption, I'd be surprised.
So yeah, they had a Darby Allin match. I don't think there was anything. Was there anything completely nutty that he did in this match?
Well, he jumped off the post, clearing the timekeeper's area, and put him through. Well,
yeah, but by
attempted to put
Darby
him through.
standards, it was.
Well,
I
the
thought
match hadn't even started yet.
Well, yeah, it was one of those things they did where it's like it is not a no DQ match, so we have to do a bunch of craziness for 5 minutes before the bell rings.
Yes, and the babyface was the one that illegally jumped the heel, beat the living holy hell out of him, and as soon as the bell rang, the heel cut him off and took over, making everything they did before meaningless, and the heel was the one that overcame the illegal insurmountable odds.
So the heel won. Kevin Knight hit the UFO splash, pinned him, and this led to a segment where the Don Callis family came out. And in that win, Knight has broken the record for, I guess, TNT title defenses. And so he brags about this and notes, as Kyle is standing right there, I broke Kyle's record. So Kyle gets angry. And Kevin Knight says, I did all this without the help of the family. And so Kyle says, well, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna do the pay-per-view without the help of the family. And I'm doing tonight without the help of the family, too. So everybody get out of here. And he boots them all out.
Really quick, Brian. Kenny Omega, really quick.
Hold on,
Minus
Dom.
3,000.
Fix your mic and then do it. Now try.
All right, we better?
A little bit. You're cutting out.
How about now?
Just try.
Kenny Omega minus 3,000.
Kenny Omega, is that the actual odds?
It's the first site I found that had odds, yes.
Wow, minus 3,000. I'm actually stunned it's not like minus 10,000. But there you go. You guys got $3,000 you want to throw away? Well, I got the place for you. Proto-Cod and Brodito. After kicking out everyone in the family, the story of the match is Kyle got pinned clean in the middle. And so this also was good in the sense that, this guy, his ego got the best of him, and he's facing Bandito on Sunday, and he has vowed no family, and he didn't have the family out tonight, and he lost. So that's how they want to try to convince you that maybe he's going to win or he's going to lose a match on the title on Sunday. I thought it was a pretty good match overall. I know Agent Storm here. What'd you see?
I had a spot that drove me insane, but the finish, as you point out, is a very logical sell to the pay-per-view. But the heat spot in the match was Okada making a legal blind tag to get in the ring and stop Bandito, and Brody just got in illegally to trade, and the heels won, beat up both babyfaces clean, even though the babyfaces tried to cheat, to stand tall for the heat. Drove me insane.
We had a Painmaker versus Psycho Killer video package. And then we had Mick Foley coming out to interview Tekla and Willow. And this was one of those segments where, I can't hold it against the show because it wasn't like it was bad. It wasn't like it was bad booking. It wasn't like it was bad. It was just, it went too long. And the crowd wasn't super into it. And it was just kind of, Tekla did a promo. And then Willow came out and talked, and then Tekla talked, and then Willow talked, and then they got in an argument, and then Tekla talked, and it was just like, I think we could trim a little bit of the stuff out of this here, and it would be much tighter. But a long story short, they're about to fight. Foley gets in between them. Tekla ends up hitting Willow with the microphone, and they end up heading down to the ring. Tekla makes sure to go out of her way to start mocking and flipping off Mick Foley, but then as she gets in the ring, Willow pounces her and sends her packing. And, not bad in any way, just it didn't need to go as long as it did. We had a Maya World Hikaru Shida video package for this coming Sunday. We had Clark Connors and Jay White. And this is another one. It's like the right guy won. I don't think there was anything about it that was really offensive, but it just was there. And also didn't have a lot of heat. And they had a very, very simple match. This is something I've noticed twice actually on this show. And that is that everyone gets really, like, one of the things a lot of people love about AEW is how everything they do is all out, okay? But the issue is, when you do that all the time, then it's hard to just be normal, if that makes sense. And this is a great example of that. There was nothing wrong with this match, but it was such a basic television match that, like, the crowd was not into it one bit. And, they're used to bangers on television. I turn on the TV, I want bangers, and I want big moves, and I want craziness. And they're now at the point where if you don't give them that, they're, like, waiting for it. And they never got it in this match. Jay White won. And then the heels came out, and Finlay laid him out with a shillelagh shot. And that sets up a match at the pay-per-view. And, it was just rough going for the audience because they're not used to just a normal television match with two people wrestling. And that's what this was. We had a Copeland and Cage promo where Pac and Claudio attacked them, beat them down. And then we had the same thing from the previous match. It's Sisters of Sin versus Divine Dominion in a hardcore match. And, AEW, when they advertise a stip, it's not only that they deliver the stip, but it's like,
They over-deliver.
They over-deliver. And so here we were with a hardcore match, and it was just a couple trash can shots. Sky Blue bled a little bit, but not a lot.
Couple kendo sticks. And it's like, the crowd was kind of up and down. Like, there was a comeback, actually by the heels, which was funny, and we got a women's wrestling chant. And then there was a choke slam through a table outside, which got a holy S chant. And then, ends up with the heels pinning Julia. And that was that. But, like, as far as, like, a hardcore match on AEW television, it was so vanilla. It was just there. So sometimes you can be a victim of your own over-delivering everything. And that's what this was. So then, I didn't say this on the air last night, but I figured it out in the main event. It's Kenny and Will and Moxley versus Hechicero and Jake Doyle and Brian Cage. And, sometimes Dave and I will get into an argument over Dynamite. No.
And Dave loves to defend Dynamite. And, of course, you get people on the internet going, this guy's got to be booking the show. And even I have actually spoken to people in AEW who have asked me, is this guy helping Tony book? And I'm like, no, he's not. But anyway, you know how you know that Dave is not booking AEW? Because the CMLL guy did the job in this match. CMLL World Champion Hechicero did the job here. And that tells you what you need to know there. But anyway, like, nobody thought Hechicero, Jake Doyle, and Brian Cage were going to win. But the story of the match was, how are Kenny, Will, and Moxley going to get along or not get along? Because, obviously, Moxley is training Will. Will is supposed to be a babyface. but people don't trust Moxley. Kenny is a babyface. He's not sure about Moxley at all. He likes Will, but he's not sure about Will, being involved with Moxley. So they played up that story the whole match. I thought they did a very, very good job of it. And in the end, Moxley and Kenny actually start working together, but then Kenny goes for a V-trigger. He accidentally hits Moxley. He ends up outside. They do a couple spots. Moxley gets back in. They triple team Hechicero and pin him. And then Moxley's mad. Why did you V-trigger me? Kenny goes, it was an accident. They get into a shoving match. And then, of course, Will has to defend Moxley, so he shoves Kenny. Then the Bucks come down to try to calm everybody down, but Moxley shoves Matt, so Nick attacks Moxley. Will accidentally hits Kenny this time, and then there's like all this stuff going on. Don Cal's family comes out. Kenny ends up wiping out Trent and Rocky, but then Kevin Knight flies in with a belt shot and takes out Kenny Omega and stands tall as the show goes off the air. It's like everything was booked exactly how they should have. Heading into this pay-per-view, you're setting up things for the pay-per-view. You're setting up things for Wembley. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a much better go-home show, and we'll see how it does. Because
I thought it was effective.
I thought it was very effective, as far as like trying to get people to buy a pay-per-view that like everybody knows they don't have to buy because it's the far secondary show to the big show that's coming up at the end of August. So that's the Dynamite Report. We'll have a lot more tonight with Vinny on the Bryan and Vinny show. But well, those were my thoughts. Anything else from the first two segments you saw?
I wouldn't have done the Okada misdirection, rainmakering Kyle if the V-trigger misdirection was a main event angle.
Yeah.
Just my cyborg brain saying I wouldn't have done it twice.
This guy goes, Collision was taped last night, so the Young Bucks match presumably would have been booked. You're right, but I'll tell you why you're wrong after the break. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. What was up with this week? Everyone thinking Monday was Tuesday.
Well, that was just
Everyone?
you, sir.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it happened, it was like I got all these people that were messaging me going, my God, I thought it was Tuesday too today. It was like something happened with like the moon or something, and it caused everybody to think that Monday was Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, God, am I losing it?
Yes.
Have you ever lost something and gave up all hope before finding it in an obvious place?
Yeah, my mind. I went to go make her the quesadilla, and I opened up the pantry, and there's no tortillas. I looked down on the ground, and there's the package that they used to be in, but there's no tortillas. So I call Hanale over, and she says, well, I didn't know how to close the bag.
Uh-oh.
So I put them all in a box of light bulbs. I said, why did you put them in a box with light bulbs? Swear to God, she goes, if that box is good enough for light bulbs, it's good enough for tortillas. And I said, no, that's not worse. I open the box, these tortillas are hard as a rock.
She is so your daughter.
Crumbling to dust.
It's insane.
God.
I lost my wallet at the Alamo Dome. The next day, I got a call from an usher that he found it. When I met up with him, everything was still in it. He refused to accept any money from me.
Wow.
Wow. I once lost my wallet, El Segundo.
Lantian says Big Dave's sanity.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he found it then. It's right there. It's never lost.
99% of the time, no matter where I park, I always know exactly where it is. But there's always that 1% of the time where is my car?
Dude.
And it's like in a bizarre place. Like, what was going on? All right, Granny, what do we got?
We need to buy you a machine that you speak into, and it converts your voice into text.
Oh, my God.
So you don't have to write it down anymore.
Absolutely not.
And then I think even better, we put that text into a text-to-voice app and have it read her.
Oh, my God.
Whatever. Stacy Keebler, her and Tori had a eggnog fight. Just a minute here.
Okay.
Looks my page.
Then he
I
looks
decided
completely depressed over there.
Take something from down below.
Mind your own business.
They're like,
Ray Kinsella builds a baseball field
Field
on
of
his
Dreams. Kevin Costner.
Baseball.
James Earl Jones.
If you build it, they will come.
Iowa.
Oh, all right.
You didn't let me finish the question, Brian.
She's right.
Oh, she yells at me. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. So listen, I like Tony, and I think like for the top stories and the big stars, I mean, he's clearly got plans. I mean, we all knew the Wembley and Will Ospreay, and you can predict who's going to win. But like beyond the tippy top guys, I think there's this idea that like he intricately books everything, and he doesn't. And, you know, this thing here, Collision was taped last night. The Young Bucks match presumably would have been booked. I mean, you can't presume that. Because, I mean, yeah, you would presume that. But, I mean, I have heard from many people who they're at Dynamite on a night where they're going to do Dynamite and Collision. And they're halfway through the Dynamite taping. And they have no idea if they're going to be on Collision or not. They have no idea. They just sit around and wait during Dynamite to see when the Collision lineup is going to be posted and if they're on the show. So, like, it's not even, you know, Dynamite and Collision are tonight and we've got everything booked, you know, 10 minutes before the show starts. It's like they're in the middle of Dynamite and Collision isn't booked yet. Like, who's going to be on it, what we're going to do. And so, yeah, it's something that needs to be remedied because at the very least, I believe you should have your week's TV planned at least the day before. I mean, at least. Should be a week before. But this is where we are. So, yes, the Young Bucks are on Collision this weekend, everybody. Now you know. And I think Tony's about to do a press call, so we'll get maybe some more information about stuff there. But anyway, Lance, thanks as always, dude.
Yep, see you Tuesday.
All the best, and we're out of here, everybody. We'll talk tonight. Bryan and Vinny Show for subscribers, WrestlingObserver.com. Check it out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube as well. We'll talk to you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.